Handheld gaming devices allow you to enjoy your favorite games anywhere, anytime, and the best ones can provide hours of fun. So in this video, I'll break down the top 7 best handheld gaming consoles this year. I put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers, whether it's price, performance, or quality. Now, let's get started. Number 7. Razer Edge. The Logitech G Cloud shares a similar no man's land with the Razer Edge. The hardware, as we noted in our review, isn't all subpar. It has roughly the same processing power as a flagship phone from 2022, making it capable of running nearly all Android games at their highest settings, as well as excellent GameCube, PS2, and Wii game emulations. Its 144Hz OLED display is impressive, and its battery life and speakers are both reliable. It doesn't feel quite as stable as devices like the Ayaneo or Logitech G Cloud because the design is peculiar. It's essentially a standalone tablet attached to a Razer Kashi V2. The screen space available for emulation isn't much more than what you'd get from a smaller device due to the display's super wide 20:9 aspect ratio, which isn't ideal for playing most retro games, even though it may be one of the more powerful Android handhelds. The $400 price tag is way too high. Number 6. Nintendo Switch. There are so many reasons why the Nintendo Switch is the best-selling handheld gaming console of all time after the Nintendo DS. Nintendo launched an OLED version of the same console a year ago, keeping it alive and well despite the fact that it is now almost 6 years old. The Switch is well known for its Nintendo-only games from the Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario series. The NVIDIA Tegra X1 chipset, which powers the Switch, is quite surprisingly still capable of running games thanks to game developers' optimizations. They must release their games on a massive platform like Switch, so that is a given. Having said that, the Tegra X1 is nearly at the end of its lifespan as it struggles to run the newest PC and Nintendo games without tiring. The successor to the Switch may also finally be released this year, according to recent rumors, or at least teased. Compared to the OLED model, which costs $360, the original Nintendo Switch is $250. If you've already decided to buy a Switch, you should get the OLED version because it offers some notable upgrades over the original model. The Steam Deck, which allows you to emulate Switch games and is significantly more value for money at $399, is recommended if you prefer PC gaming and have little interest in Switch games. Number 5. OneXPlayer 2. OneXPlayer charges $1,099 for the base Ryzen 7 6800U model of its second generation handheld console. Similar to the Nintendo Switch, you can remove the joystick, add a keyboard, and use the device as a laptop. Additionally, you can use the official dock to get a fully functional console-like experience, or use it as a tablet. In order to power its 2.5K 8.4-inch display, it also has a bigger, stronger 65.5 WH battery. When compared to the Ayaneo Geek or Ayaneo 2, the OneXPlayer 2 is probably more affordable. OneXPlayer Mini Pro AMD, another console running on the Ryzen 7 6800U and Radeon 680M, is also offered for sales by the business. The device has a 7-inch 1200p display, 16GB DDR5 RAM running at 6400 MHz, a PCIe 3.0 M.2 2280 SSD slot, Hall joysticks and triggers, a 48 WH battery, and USB 4.0. It shares many features with the Ayaneo Geek, but has a 1200p display instead. The same device is also available from OneXPlayer with an Intel Core i7 1260p, but we don't advise buying it unless you despise AMD. The Ayaneo 2, which has much more features and provides a superior handheld gaming console experience, costs the same $1,049 as this device. Number 4. Logitech G Cloud. The Logitech G Cloud might be the best Android portable device available, if it costs only $150 or so. Its 7-inch 1080p display is more attractive to look at than the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, Ayaneo, or even the entry-level Steam Deck, because it is brighter, more vibrant, and overall more attractive. Despite having a similar sized screen to the deck, it weighs half as much and has contoured grips that are comfortable to hold for extended periods of time. It has good battery life of 10 to 12 hours, and its haptics function as they should. In terms of emulation, it can play into the Dreamcast PSP range with ease thanks to the large panel. You don't need to worry about waiting around or paying extra shipping fees because Logitech is a well-known company. Just buy one from your preferred retailer and you'll get it in a few days. Unfortunately, the G Cloud has recently been selling for $300 on average. The Steam Deck can accomplish much more for $100 more, even though that is $50 less than the card's launch price. The Pocket 3 Plus and Odin can also get you most of the way there for much less. The G Cloud still has some GameCube, 3DS, and PS2 games that it can play, but it does so less smoothly, especially at higher resolutions than the Odin, which is also more powerful. Additionally, even though the G Cloud doesn't feel cheap, its space buttons and triggers are only passably adequate. However, the triggers are analog. Additionally, because the device only supports the FA232 file system, it is unable to play games larger than 4GB from a microSD card. Despite this, the G Cloud offers a variety of advantages over the Odin and Pocket 3 Plus that make it a more opulent experience overall. It's worth taking into consideration if money is no object, or if you ever see it on sale for around $200. Number 3. Ayaneo 2. The original Ayaneo, which debuted in 2021, served as the foundation for Ayaneo's position as one of the first companies to provide Steam Deck substitutes. Since then, the company has released many portable gaming consoles, including the Ayaneo Air, Air Pro, Next, and others. The organization's most recent handheld, the Ayaneo 2, does a lot of things well overall. First off, the console is known for having incredible and superior build quality. AMD Ryzen 7 6800U, which has a Radeon 680M graphics, is the processor that powers the console. Using low to medium settings, the 680M can play games at 1080p resolution. Due to the higher compute unit clock speed, 2.2 GHz versus 1.6 GHz, it is marginally faster than Steam Deck's Aerith APU. It consequently has a higher TDP of up to 25W and a 50WH battery powers that. The Ayaneo 2's base model includes 512GB of expandable PCIe NVMe storage and 16GB of LPDDR5 6400MHz RAM. The Ayaneo 2 isn't exactly inexpensive at $1,100, and experts might argue that the Steam Deck is still a better option, which it is. However, if you can afford it, you won't regret purchasing the portable gaming system. The clever additions and small details that improve Ayaneo 2 are what set it apart from its predecessors. The bezel-less display, glass front, 1200p display, eGPU support via USB 4, haptics resembling the Nintendo Switch, and Hall joysticks and triggers all attempt to justify the price. Number 2. Asus ROG Ally. The ROG Ally is the closest thing to playing on Steam Deck among the portable gaming devices that manufacturers have dubbed Steam Deck killers. In some situations, we would even contend that Ally is superior to the Deck, but it has a significant flaw, i.e. life of the battery. The ROG Ally has 1080p 7-inch IPS touchscreen display with a 120Hz refresh rate, AMD Ryzen Z1 and Z1 Extreme processors with RDNA 3 graphics, 16GB RAM, and 512GB storage on the base model. It additionally runs Windows 11 with Asus ROG gaming interface on top. It's a portable computer with controls attached, similar to the Steam Deck since AMD's Z1 Extreme is an APU, designed specifically for handheld devices rather than notebook computers. We can anticipate that it will perform significantly better than Steam Deck's Aerith APU at both lower and higher TDPs. Due to the fact that it runs Windows 11, it will support significantly more games at launch than Steam Deck. Steam Deck appears to be a better value now that ROG Ally 2's price has been officially announced, and it will start at $700. Number 1. Steam Deck. Right when we believed Nintendo Switch would soon take over as the dominant handheld gaming console, Valve made the Steam Deck official. While some people were interested in the technical details in the case of Steam Deck, the majority were more impressed by the device's low price. The base model only ended up costing $399. Since Valve even admitted to selling the console at a loss and making up for it with the commission of selling games on the Steam store, the price to performance ratio is impossibly good. The action is wise. For those who don't know, Valve collaborated with AMD to create the APU in the Steam Deck, which achieves a great balance between performance and efficiency, something that handhelds from companies that came after it couldn't. Naturally, Valve sold 3 million units and continues to enhance the deck. Not all games may work on Steam Deck because it runs a variant of Arch Linux. Therefore, it might not be for you if you don't like playing around with the OS, but it's the ideal handheld computer for Linux fans and people who have always wanted to play games on Linux. I believe that after this video, you may want to watch the video that is now on the screen, so I'll see you over there. Bye!